everyone, it's Matt Bloomfield at Wycombe Wanderers and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Not a lot happened since we last met, has it? Coming up in the next hour, have we got some things to bring you? We'll have representatives from Norway, Poland, Ipswich and other places. Wycombe, of course, as well. We'll be reviewing what happened at Adams Park last Saturday, which feels like a long time ago now, doesn't it? A fantastic victory over Bolton Wanderers, and reflecting on what happened subsequently as well. The news that Queen's Park Rangers were in talks with our now former manager. And in the coming days, who would know that Gareth Ainsworth will be moving to Loftus Road. We'll hear from the former boss speaking. It sounds strange saying it, doesn't it? Speaking after the game against Bolton. We'll hear an excerpt from his chat along with Richard Dobson as well on WanderersTV with Phil on the day that he said goodbye to the players at the training grounds. We'll hear from Head of Media Matt Cecil, who'll talk us through the sort of behind the scenes news from a media point of view. We've got our match debrief with Phil as well, which will give us more of an insight too. We'll catch up with goalkeeper Max Stryjek, who we've been down to the training ground this afternoon and spoke to him. Got a player's eye view of what's happened this week, and also obviously the good form that he's in, not conceding too many goals. Have I mentioned yet? We'll speak to the new manager as well, Matt Bloomfield. We'll be hearing from him. You might remember as a former player, and also, until very recently, the manager of Colchester United as well, where he got Manager of the Month award. Again, all this seems like quite a long time ago now, doesn't it? Later on in the show as well, we'll be focusing once again on Wycombe Wanderers women. We'll chat to Kine Andersen, who's over here studying from Norway. She's doing physiotherapy over at Brunel at Uxbridge, and also starring in midfield for Wycombe Wanderers as well. Also, Wycombe Wanderers women's Bobby Lynch will be speaking to us too, after she made her return for 90 minutes in the Cup at the weekend after her long layoff with an ACL injury, and look ahead to this Sunday's game as well, which has been dedicated to football versus homophobia. All that and more possibly on the way in the next hour as well. But first, let's pause for a moment and enjoy some highlights from Saturday at Adams Park.
Welcome to Adams Park. Wycombe Wanderers taking on high-flying Bolton Wanderers. The Battle of the Wanderers this afternoon in League One. This is the best game in the division today by quite some margin. Wycombe Wanderers and Bolton top of the form table as well. Bolton 5 wins on the spin, won the last 2 games 5-0. Wycombe Wanderers have won the last 4 games and are on great form themselves. So who's going to come out on top today, or will it be a draw? And Wycombe go out wide to Wheeler on the right-hand side. Now Wingy. Wing, it sits up for a cross, it goes in, Vokes! Great save from Trafford, will the rebound be turned in? It won't. Oh, gilt edge opportunity from Sam Vokes. That should be 1-0.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic chance.
Grimmer wins his header over Charles. There's another battle that's going to take place between those two. Hanlon, he's beaten the offside trap. Hanlon is through on goal. Toll comes across and defends, and Hanlon just loses his feet at a vital moment, and that's really good defending by Owen Toll, because he was second favourite there.
We kind of felt like it could potentially go that way with both sides in such good form. Often you can be a bit reserved, but GMAC
on the run now, beats one, feeds Wing, Wing's winding one up, drills it in low, decent strike with 3 yards wide. And it's when someone just has that little bit of individual brilliance, Jasper, that just creates a little bit of space, because at the moment this is 2 teams cancelling each other out. And you either need a mistake or someone to drop a shoulder here.
It's as simple as that, yeah. Honestly, when a game is like this, you're looking for someone who can unlock something for us, who can use a little bit of their individual brilliance and magic to create something, and then at the other end there is that mistake that can unlock the defences.
And then Vokes stops the clearance now and has the ball on the right wing. Vokes takes touch the control. Oh, lovely touch from Vokes. Vokes inside the area, feeds it to Wing. Oh, and Wing's little step over from Dempsey nearly works. Scowen! Oh, from fully 30 yards, first time shot. Always rising, but it was on target, and the keeper made the save. It looked like it was heading for the roof of the net.
Yeah, he caught it really well, didn't he, Josh? I was just thinking not three, but no, he caught it beautifully, and that's where he is, breaking down the play on the edge of the box, and then he can arrive if need be. But yeah, caught it really, really nicely, and unfortunately just too straight, and the goalkeeper claimed.
Lewis Wing to take the corner. They go short to Gareth McCleary, corner of the penalty area, left hand side, back to Wing. Wing goes for goal! Oh yes! Lewis Wing! And it's another Richard Dobson folder special. Short corner to McCleary. Wing took the ball, faked across, saw the gap and rifled it into the net. And Trafford looks at the turf And the Wycombe fans look at the scoreboard and it reads Wycombe Wanderers 1, Bolton Wanderers 0.
Yeah, look, like we mentioned it earlier off the training ground, and Dobbo's little secrets he has up his sleeve, and this is absolutely no different. Something that we've worked on, and it drops. They work the corner short, don't we?
Hanlon wriggled away from Mbete. Hanlon cuts it across the face of goal. Sam Boakes miscontrols initially, gets it back, and it's saved by the keeper. And the referee has signalled an offside. And the ball just wouldn't sit for Boakes, and the keeper was scrambling. What a ball again by Lewis Wing for Brandon Hanlon.
It's a fantastic pass.
Now Gareth McCleary on the right wing. Boakes is getting in the office now, in the box. Goes in low to Boakes. Hits the side netting. Narrow angle. The low cross came in. It was ricocheted into the path of Sam Boakes, who was on it like a flash. And the ball went past the post there. Half a chance again for Wycombe. DeBar, lovely little flick down to Wing. Wing's got Scowen in space. Scowen, edge of the area. Freeman's in their support. Scowen on the outside. Goes to goal, great save. Brilliant save. Scowen there, nearly sealing the deal in stoppage time.
Crikey, what a counter-attack that was. I mean, first of all, you feel like TJ DeBar's in behind. There was a bit of a pull from Declan John in there, but he steadies himself. He plays a fantastic little flick inside.
And the full-time whistle goes, and it's a magnificent 5 wins on the bounce for Wycombe Wanderers. Bolton Wanderers rolled into town in great form, and they've been derailed by Wycombe Wanderers and Lewis Wing, who fired the ball into the roof of the net in first half stoppage time. That was enough for Wycombe Wanderers. Brilliant result, Jasper.
Yeah, what an afternoon here. Speaking to a few of the fans before the game, and weren't quite sure what to expect with the form and the goal-scoring form that Bolton have been in recently. But we came here, had a bit of a cagey start. It was difficult to begin with, and Bolton found their rhythm. A moment of absolute sheer quality from Lewis Wing at the end of the first half, and then second half a completely different performance. We were assured in our play, we looked confident, and we looked even favourite to go and grab a second goal, and then showed that grit, determination towards the end of the game to see the result out, and what a massive 3 points that is.
We'll leave you with the full-time result here at Adams Park. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Bolton Wanderers 0.
Match highlights from Saturday at Adams Park against Bolton, brought to you by Jasper Pattenden, who I'm sure would much rather be playing, but done an excellent job of summarising. Alongside Phil, of course, our match commentator, head of audio and broadcast at Adams Park, also host of Ringing the Blues, the excellent podcast, of course, and pre-match drills available on WanderersTV. And we've been up to the training ground this afternoon and been speaking to him about obviously what's been a rollercoaster / whirlwind of the last few days, but started by reflecting on that result on Saturday.
Fantastic to beat a rival. Huge game, really, more than 3 points. It was a 6-pointer, to use the cliche, because Wycombe were 9 points behind with 2 games in hand. They're now 6 points behind with 2 games in hand because of that excellent victory. They set a League One record as well for the club, 5 consecutive victories. They've not done that before at this level. And as it turned out, it was the final game for Gareth Ainsworth after over 10 years. So we didn't know that at the time, but looking back on it, a very poignant performance, a very Gareth Ainsworth style performance, a win. Which is obviously a fantastic way to sign out, but it was great to speak to him after the game.
Gareth, congratulations, 5 wins in a row at League One level, a club record.
Wow, I didn't know that, so well done, boys. They again did everything that we asked. The shape, nailed it. I had a real tough decisions to make. I got Curtis Thompson back, Jason McCarthy, who's been sensational last 2 games, TJ, Chem. Having to leave those out and pick the team I have, it's brilliant, but it's tough, now. But when you get performances like that, you justify everyone playing in the right positions and the positions they're playing in. I thought, again, we were secure at the back. Max really didn't have too much to do. He had an overhead kick, I think, was going wide, but then the one on target with the boy in the middle there. But again, we were definitely the aggressors. I think Volksy almost had one at the back stick, header in the first half. Really, really pleased with the way we're playing at the moment, and teams keep underestimating us and thinking with this team, I don't know what they think they are, but I was really pleased with the way that we went about the job today against Bolton.
Let's talk about a goal worthy of winning any game.
Yeah, listen, Richard Dobson deserves credit again. Set piece. So what we do is me and Josh do all the tactics for the game. Dobbo does the attacking set pieces and tactics, and Herbal does the defending set pieces. At the moment, everything's clicking, Dobbo saw a weakness there, and the boys nailed it, They nailed it in training yesterday. I watched it and I thought, you know what, if that's on, brilliant. And it was on, and you got to credit Dobbo for that. That's the goal that separates the two teams, and it's great. We've been together a long time now, and trust him a lot with everything. And like I say, I don't really get involved in set pieces. I've got enough on, but he's nailed that one, and that's the difference today. As well as the boys sort of just defending with their lives, Chris Farino, Jordan Willis, I don't think have played together before. Jack Grimmer, for everybody, is okay. He's took a whack on his head, and we did have to use a concussion substitute for him, but it was worrying, but he'll be fine, and I'm sure the result will give him a boost. But everyone, TJ come on again, and this spark at the moment he's carrying with him. So I'm really proud of everyone today, and really great team, Bolton, honestly. Good management, good people, and fantastic fans they brought today. They never stopped singing, like they didn't do 3 years ago when they were on the brink of administration. They were singing then, they were singing again, and it's a North West club. It's a big club, and for us that's a great scout. But again, I'll always say, never get carried away with just one win. I know it's 5 on the spin now, and we've got some tough games to come, but things are looking really good at the moment.
Seems really strange, doesn't it, hearing from the manager sort of now after sort of what we know now as well, and as you say, the performance and the result really something that he would have been pleased with to be sort of going out on.
Well, yeah, looking back on it now with hindsight, it was, like I said, a very Gareth Ainsworth type performance. And you always say, leave the club in a better place when you found it. He's left this club in a completely different universe from when the day he walked through the door. So we give him our very best wishes as he's gone down the road to QPR. But, this season is still very much, there's so much going on with it. But yeah, it was poignant to be here on his final day. There were lots of tears from everyone, really. I don't know, I've not seen this happen before at any other club, but to do an exit interview, not in a Davina McCall style, we didn't say here's your best bits, but it was very emotional to sit down with Dobbo and Gareth on the sofa and just to talk through the decision.
Hardest thing I've ever done at the club, real top bunch of guys, and can't thank him enough for what they've done for me, and the fans should appreciate them so much, because they've given me an opportunity, which I always wanted to try and take, but yeah, it's a really tough day, and I've just told them that they can go on and get promoted this season, because they're a sensational bunch of lads. But it's not just those down there, it goes back a lot further than that, right to the start when I came here in 2010, and there's a lot of history here, and it's a tough day, but it's life sometimes, and you're gonna move on.
Dobbo, the word pride was used, and the immense amount of pride that you both have together, but about the shape of this club now compared to when you walked through the door, the both of you, the pride must be immense.
Absolutely, yeah. I've literally watched some of them grow up in my time here. I signed Josh going as a 14-year-old, and you look at him now running games at League One level. He can't not be proud about things like that. It's wonderful to watch him. I've enjoyed every moment working with him, and I just wish him all the very best.
And the family word as well was used, because the atmosphere at Wycombe has been your calling card, Gareth, and the family element, the community, the vibe here, that took time to build, didn't it?
Yeah, the family is what we've been based everything on, the building blocks of everything we've done. We've preached about being together, and that unbuyable that is that family side of things, and not just the family I've got here, the players, my own family, my children, and that, they've only ever known me at Wycombe. Even though Kine and Scarlett were born when I was at QPR, but they they only know me at Wycombe, and they've played a huge part in here, and it's going to be a big change, but it's tough, really tough, but it is football as well, and you've got to realise sometimes that you know, you take on new challenges. There's a huge challenge ahead of us now. Keeping QPR in the Championship is after the slump of form that they've had. We really want to get our teeth stuck into that challenge. I'll hopefully be playing Wycombe next year in the Championship. That'd give me more pride than ever because of these boys and this club, you know. But this will always be a huge part of my life, and no one's ever going to take that away.
You've had your chance to say goodbye to the staff and the players. This is your opportunity now to speak to the fans, because obviously they've been here every single step of that journey too.
Yeah, can't thank them enough. You know, we've had support right through. You know, even at the crazy time of Torquay, right through to the times right now. You know, they've been really with us. You know, it's an amazing football club, and to be part of the history is incredible. I always said it was going to take something really special to move me away from here. You know, there's certain drivers in my life that aren't maybe other people's drivers. The challenge is huge. The connection I've got with QPR as well is big. And I think this club's in a real good hands, and I think it's going, and I'm proud of where it is. But to every person who's ever got behind us and sung a song or bought a ticket or celebrated a goal, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You know, we couldn't have done it without you. I've always said that, and I always will. I was the lucky one at the front of it all, but we've achieved together at Wycombe, and that'll stay with me forever.
Dobbo?
Yeah, the club is the fans. You know, everybody else moves on from time to time, some longer than others, but the club moves on, and the fans their support's unwavering, isn't it? So you know, they've been unwavering in their support for us from the very start, and I can only thank everybody for that. You know, I just wish everybody the very best at the club. I want them to be successful. I want them to carry on the work that we've done. I'd be devastated if all them years of work suddenly go to waste. You know, so I'm a Wycombe fan. My kids are Wycombe fans now, and yeah, I just want them the very best for everybody involved.
Well, Gareth, Dobbo, on behalf of the fans, everyone at the club, everyone who's been there along the way, for all of it, for part of it, thank you so much. And we'll be watching. Don't be a stranger.
Always a chairboy, don't worry about that.
And listening to that as well, it really sort of stands out the connection that he has with the club and the players as well.
Yeah, I mean, he ran this place from top to bottom. You know, his energy has been poured into every single corner of this training ground and down at the stadium. So yeah, it's an incredible legacy he leaves. And Dobbo as well. I mean, nearly 17 years in various different roles, and I can't imagine what Wycombe Wanderers would be like without the input of Richard Dobson. And I don't want to sound dramatic, there might not even be a Wycombe Wanderers as we know it if it wasn't for him and his contribution here. So yeah, huge legacy for them both. But now we look forwards and hopefully onwards and upwards with our new manager.
It's strange to imagine as well fans to be sort of less impressed, or more impressed I should say, with the replacement.
It was the ideal choice, wasn't it? And credit to the chairman, Rob Couhig, because these things are difficult to get done, especially at pace and other things. And often there's a bit of an interim period where there's uncertainty. There was that period here at Wycombe Wanderers. It lasted for about 41 minutes. The players knew that the chairman was working behind the scenes to bring the new person in. I think everyone had a very good idea of who they would like it to be. And the moment when Matt Bloomfield walked through the door, the elation on the players' faces was there for everyone to see. And the energy has just been incredible ever since then. And this was all on the same day than Gareth and Dobbo leaving. So momentum is key in sport. And I think what Rob has done this week and the way he's been able to get the deals done has kept up that momentum. And we now go into Saturday absolutely buzzing.
And such a feeling of optimism throughout the club, you know, with the players, the staff and the fans alike, you know, going into this next period now.
Yeah, huge. 15 games to go. Wycombe in a fantastic place in the league. We've got a guy in charge now who knows the DNA of this place, who knows exactly the squad. There's a couple of new faces he's got to get to know, and he's brought in Richard Thomas, his assistant, but Lee Harrison, his goalkeeping coach, has come back as well for his third spell. So there's a huge amount of familiarity here, but he's his own man. He's going to want to lay down his own rules and his ways as well. But there's not big change coming. I just think it's going to be keep keep momentum going. He'll impose his style on the squad as we go. But he commands respect because of who he is and what he's done for this club in the past. And if anyone can make the step up, it's Matt Bloomfield.
It'll be really interesting to see sort of the type of manager he is as well, and what he takes from other managers that he's played under at this club.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so much history of this club, and I know John Gorman was a big influence as well. Gary Waddock, I mean, signed by Tony Adams, who was not a great manager but a fantastic player. So yeah, and Matt's attitude to life and the game has been exemplary throughout. So he would have absorbed all of the things he needed to absorb from these people. But yeah, like I said, he's his own man, so I'm equally fascinated to see the sort of manager he becomes. And
a 5-game winning run at the ideal time to sort of take over, really.
Yeah, normally when a manager changes, it's because it's not going well. He went into Colchester in that situation and has done fabulously well. He was only there 4.5 months, but they were in a right mess when he walked through the door. He leaves them in a much better position. They're looking a lot safer in League Two than they were when he started. And I think it's hugely important for him to have a bit of time away from Wycombe Wanderers and to kind of cut his teeth and almost prove to himself, what it's about, making the step up. And I think that 4.5 months will be vital when he looks back on his career.
And Shrewsbury won't want to be playing a team who've won their last 5 games, or will that sort of make them a bit more sort of wanting to end that run?
Well, they're a good home side. They've been getting good crowds at their place. They recently won 6 on the bounce themselves. They've drawn 1 and lost 1. They lost to Accrington Stanley, which was a real surprise. It was a game after Accrington lost to us. I didn't see that one coming. But we'll see what happens. They're normally very tight, competitive games. We lost to them at Adams Park earlier in the season, so we owed them 1 for that one. But they're in 8th, we're in 7th. I think for them to really keep pressure on a playoff campaign for themselves, they really need to beat us on Saturday. But with results and games going against Wycombe in the top 6 recently, even though we've been winning every week, so has everybody else. But there are teams up the top now who are playing each other this weekend, so I think it's a great opportunity. If Wycombe were to get the 3 points, we might actually make up some ground on someone.
And is there a service station between here and Shrewsbury that you'll be stopping off at?
Do you know what? I've not had a chance to look at the map this week. Normally that's the sort of my priority, but this week we've been a little busy. But I will be sure to go and Google Maps now and be like, right, where can we stop? It's going to be lovely, right? It's going to be very rural.
Rural. It's from Visit Shrewsbury there, from Phil Catchpole. Don't forget as well, on Wanderers TV you can catch the full interview with Gareth Ainsworth and Richard Dobson as well, and also you can view their last day at the training ground, which includes some fantastic footage of their final messages to the players. Very emotional as well. Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll hear from Head of Media Matt Cecil in more behind the scenes news on what's happened this week, and we'll hear from the new manager as well.
Online, on Radio Player and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Still to come on this week's Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll be hearing from 2 members of Wycombe Wanderers women's team. I know, a multi-buy this week. Very exciting. But first, we continue. Oh, and we'll hear from the new manager, in case you're listening out for that bit. But first, we'll catch up with Head of Media Matt Cecil, also at the training ground this afternoon, to find out a bit about sort of the behind-the-scenes of what's been quite an eventful few days.
Still catching my breath with it all, I think. It's been... from 2 days of silence really from Wycombe Wanderers, and then that was obviously enforced when all the speculation was going on. There was a lot bubbling beneath the surface, but a lot of that we weren't able to communicate to fans, and QPR found themselves in the same position in Colchester as well. So normally on a Monday or a Tuesday we'd be posting frantically, particularly after such a fantastic win against Bolton, but it was a very different feel around the place on Monday once we knew what was going on. So to kind of be amongst it all while things were developing and capturing the moments we were able to was a real kind of privilege and a unique experience, both for myself and Phil. And then all of a sudden, once the button was launched at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, wasn't it, to announce that Gareth was leaving us, that Matt was returning, just sparked incredible reactions, outpourings of emotions, and that's just in the media office here. But across the World Wide Web and seeing video clips going viral, fans responding in different ways, and above all, what I think is amazing is and so heartwarming is that the response has been so positive and lovely. We've lost a club legend, or 2 really, with Gareth and Richard Dobson leaving, and that could have triggered a huge outpouring of grief and dismay amongst the Wycombe fans. But actually, when coupled with the news that Matt Bloomfield's returning, it feels like there's continuity. Like we're going to be okay. We're going to be more than okay. So it's been a really enjoyable few days in a strange way. Really sad to see close friends go. They're not just colleagues or a manager and assistant, but people we've got to know really, really closely and ridden the roller coaster with. But at the same time, we've got Matt Bloomfield back. It's a new era, and I think it's galvanised the fans. From periods of uncertainty early in the week to now really wanting to kick on to Saturday.
This isn't supposed to be a pun, but it's come out of the blue, hasn't it? But you must be so impressed with the smoothness of it all, and how I imagine other clubs they had to have an interim manager in position for a while, or it just all happened so smoothly and so quickly.
Oh, our chairman doesn't mess around. He asks us to do things and he wants them done an hour ago. It's that's the way he is, and it's brilliant. He brings a real drive and energy to the place. But above all, he's had a plan. He's had this structure in place, this idea that look, Gareth's a hugely talented manager. At some point, a sensible chairman somewhere is going to recognise that and make him an offer to prize him away. So Rob's been ready for this moment for a long time. He acted smoothly, very quickly, very professionally, and I think that's really come out of it. The dealings with QPR and with Colchester have been done really, really well, really efficiently and professionally. And it was all unravelling over the weekend. Hand on heart, when I said goodbye to Gareth on Saturday, I didn't know this was in the offing. I think he conducted himself brilliantly throughout the day. There was no kind of sentiment. He didn't want to distract from what was going on. With that game against Bolton, and as things unravelled over the weekend, obviously we were made aware of it late Sunday into Monday, and that's where we get to action. So brilliant. For the chairman and Gareth set the tone for this place, and I think the whole series of events was brilliant and handled really, really well.
Oh, really nice for you and Phil, as we spoke to you, to reflect on the sort of 10 years that you've had working so closely with them as well. Yeah,
it was Gareth who persuaded me to come back to the club in 2014, and I was offered a job to head up the media department, and I was quite happy and settled in the job that I was doing elsewhere at the time. But Gareth spoke to me at a friendly and said, "You know what, something special is building here, Matt. I think you should come back. You should take the job and be amongst it." And he's been an unbelievable manager to work with. Just a real inspiration. You come to the training ground, you hear him before you see him, the big whoops and the cheers, and the air guitar comes out, and it gives you a zest for life and real energy. Me and Phil have had a huge privilege working alongside him and being there at his at this club's greatest moments in its history, really. Some difficult periods as well, and we've got to know a lot of mutual friends and shared friends, and we've been to Bill Turnbull's funeral with Gareth. It was a really poignant day. Gareth's been an amazing guy, and it was odd seeing him being interviewed at QPR earlier on the TV. We'll have to get used to that, but equally brilliant to see Matt Bloomfield walking in this room with a beaming smile on his face to meet all of you guys and kick off what will be a long succession of interviews with your good self.
That must be so nice as well to have that familiarity with the new manager as well.
Yeah, look, Matt and I go back way longer than Gareth and I do. Matt, I was telling somebody earlier, Matt was the very first footballer to come up to me at the very start of my media career, and he approached me after a game, and I was a little bit unnerved why a player was coming over, and he asked about an article I'd written on the website. I said, yep, that was me, and I thought I'd put my foot in it or spelt something wrong, and he said, you know what, you made my mum cry with pride. What you said were really kind words, and thank you very much. And that stuck with me, really. A footballer coming across and being appreciative for something that I'd done. So we developed a close friendship. He was the one constant at Wycombe Wanderers during a huge period of change, really, towards the end of that decade and into the new one. We've just grown ever closer, stayed in close contact over the last few months while at Colchester, great to see him back. But this is a working relationship. Yes, we're good friends and always have been. But of course, there's boundaries when we come into it. I'm not going to go prying around what he's doing. As a manager, we're here to give him all the support he needs and the team needs to be a success. And together, we will all make it to the Championship, I'm sure.
Really nice to hear from Matt Cecil, and some brilliant behind-the-scenes insight there as to what you can only imagine has been a quite busy few days at the club and the training ground, and plenty of plate spinning by the staff in the media room, which we're in at the time as well. And we're fortunate enough to speak to the new manager, Matt Bloomfield.
Yeah, it has been tricky to sum it up because it's been a real whirlwind. I feel like I've been living in a bit of a haze. The time's not been my own because it's just gone so quickly over these last couple of days, but there's been plenty to do, plenty to sort, and I've sort of loved to negotiate in those 2 days. But the one day I was looking forward to was today, to get in the building and start getting to work.
Does it feel a bit like sort of your destiny's come to fruition in a way?
No, I think, if I'm honest, everyone else was speaking about me and doing this job at some point more than I was myself, because I knew that there was a lot of work to do to get to the point of being offered this opportunity. Nothing was ever going to be given without lots of hard work and dedication to prepare, so my focus was only ever on preparing. And if this opportunity ever presented itself, I wanted to be ready to take it. So I'm extremely pleased and probably extremely fortunate as well at the same time of the timing that I'd already been away to Colchester and got myself a little bit of experience. So when the call came from Rob, I felt ready to take it.
How have you found the transition from player to coach to now manager?
Yeah, it's been an interesting, journey and process. Obviously, I was extremely fortunate to come out of my playing days and straight into the coach's office here at Wycombe Wanderers, but Rob was very keen and thought it was a good idea for me to go elsewhere to get some managerial experience. I think he was exactly right. Obviously, I wasn't ever too keen to leave Wycombe Wanderers because I loved my life here and I really enjoyed what I was part of. But the decision to go to Colchester was 100% the right one, and I'm really pleased that I took that, because without that experience and without the last few months of doing the job there, then maybe I wouldn't have been sat here in front of you now. So I'm really pleased I did that, and I think it stands me in real good stead to move forward here.
And really nice as well that you won't have to sort of get to know the players or assess their strengths or weaknesses, or know how the team is doing, or even know where the ground is. Yeah,
exactly. I think there's so many things that feel comfortable about coming back. Of course, I know the players inside out. I know them close, both performance-wise and psychosocially. I know a lot about them. So that will hopefully give me a slight leg up and make the settling in process slightly quicker. But at the same time, I've been away for 5 months. The team's always evolving. There's a couple of new players in the door, and I need to make sure that I, pay due diligence to all of that stuff. Because, whilst it is coming back to a club I know very well, it's a different role, and I need to make sure that I approach that in the right way.
Will you be looking to sort of put your own style of football into the team?
I think that the team's playing really, really well with the style of football they're playing. I think there's a lot made of the style of football we've played here over many years, and I'm not sure it's always been entirely fair. So, it's going to be, it isn't broke, so there's no reason to change anything. The boys are playing extremely well. I want them to carry that on. I want to try and help facilitate that. Of course, I'm not going to try and imitate anybody else and try and be, Gareth Ainsworth, because I need to be authentic to myself and be myself, but at the same time I love and respect the work that he's done here over many years, and I'm just hoping that I can carry that on and carry it forward.
Does it feel in a way a strange time to be taking over at this point in the season? Obviously the team's doing so well and going for the playoffs.
Most certainly so, because I've obviously spent many years here with the gaffer being the manager and being one of the players and the coaching staff. The situation I walked into at Colchester was extremely different in terms of where they were challenging at what end of the table. So again, a new experience, and doing this, coming in with the games left that we have, it's not a long spell until the end of the season, so it's really exciting for everyone around us. But for me, I have to take the emotion out of it and make sure we get the processes in place every day to help the team keep moving forward.
So what have you said to the players ahead of Saturday?
I spoke to them this morning about I thought that it needed to be, whilst it is coming back to a place I know so well and love, it's a job that I've got in hand, and I felt like it needed to be started as such. So we've spoken about that. We've done our prep on Shrewsbury. I've managed to find some time to watch them this week, and Sam Grace has done that in the building as well. So we've been speaking this morning, and we've presented to the players. So nothing's going to change in terms of their preparation for matches, and we're looking forward to seeing them play on Saturday.
And pleasing for you to have your coaching staff with you as well.
Yeah, most certainly so. I think Tomo's a very, very good coach. I've got a lot of trust in him in terms of his coaching and the tactical help that he gives on the sidelines. And obviously Lee Harrison's got a long history here already. Everyone knows what a good goalie coach is, but not only that, he's one of the best people you're ever likely to meet, and he's very good as well in terms of the team setup and his knowledge of football in general, and the amount of contacts he has and the amount of experience he has. He's brilliant as well. So bringing them into what we already know is a successful staff and a great staff. We hope that we can add to that.
And what will be your message to fans who are obviously so pleased to have you back?
Yeah, just to say thank you for the welcome. You know, I'm just, my message to them is that I'm here to try and do the best I possibly can. I'll work every minute it takes to try and be successful. But thank you for their welcome, and we look forward to seeing them at Shrewsbury on Saturday and then at Adams Park next week against Exeter.
Pleasure to speak to the new manager, and you'll be hearing more from him on future editions of this show, of course. Also at the training ground, we spoke to goalkeeper Max Stryjek to find out a little more about what's been going on from a player's eye view over the last few days, but also the lack of goals he's been conceding of late.
All the team is doing really well, and I think we conceded like 3 goals in this year, maybe? Or maybe no, I can't remember. But yeah, it's been amazing. We defended really well. We kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games. So yeah, everything is going well.
And so pleasing for you personally, how you've settled into the team.
Well, I'm just happy, and obviously like Gareth and Dobbo made like a family here, and obviously the momentum goes now. And then the lads are amazing. The club is really good for me, and then. Yeah, I just tried my best to do well for the club and for myself.
And do you think of it as an extra challenge with, say, big teams like Bolton and Derby, and so pleasing for yourself that you've been able to keep them from scoring?
Well, you know, obviously the budgets inside League One, there are so massive difference, especially when you've got so many teams who were like in the Premier League like a few years back, and then obviously it's really pleasing that we can go out and perform with the best, and we actually can win against them as well. So I'm just happy that we can win some points from the big dogs as well.
And does it feel like there's a real kind of momentum now? You've got these 5 games, winning games, and it's the second half of the season when the manager said, things will start coming good in the second half of the season.
I think obviously our goal is to get to playoffs, and we are in a good position to achieve that. And then we still got 15 games left, and then it's 45 points to take. So anyone could be in them at this moment in time. I think some people from the top might slip, and we just have to keep going and believe that we can achieve them, and then win as many games as possible, and then hopefully we will be there.
And from a player's point of view, what's the last few days been like?
You know what? It happens so quickly, so it's really dynamic situation, and we've seen. I heard about interest that Gaffer will be leaving on Sunday. Then on Monday, I was pretty sure he was leaving, and then I asked him, will I see you tomorrow? He was like, yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow. And then I was like, yeah, he's gone. But then obviously I never told him that, and then I was sitting with my girlfriend in one of the restaurants, and then I said like, oh, I think Gaffer is going. She was like, why would he do that? And I was like, yeah, he's obviously going to QPR, which is, he played for 7 years, and then it's a massive step up for him as well, and Dobbo. And then I was like, at some point I was gutted, but on the other side I want him to do well there, and then obviously it's massive improvement for him, and you can't take away what he did for the club, and he achieved a lot with this club, for over 130 years history of the club. I think he was the best manager, I would say, and then obviously achieved championship and then playoff spots, so you can't take it away from Dobbo and Gareth, and then obviously now starting a new chapter, so hopefully Gaffer now, not Blond. Hopefully we can build up and take the momentum again for the club, and then hopefully we achieve everything with our new manager.
Does it feel like a real sort of continuation of what you've been doing?
It's a tricky question for me, because obviously we know each other, everyone knows each other, and then I think it seems like continuation, but at this stage I think there's lots of doubts as well, and we're going out on Saturday to show that we are still in a good team spirit. We got good family here, and hopefully we can get the results going for our new manager and for all the club.
All the best to Max and the rest of the team for Saturday against Shrewsbury. I can certainly recommend Polish donuts, although it turns out he's not so keen.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Final part of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. If you're a regular listener to the programme, thank you. A mention that I meant to talk about a little earlier on is that, of course, normally we have an ex-player on the show. You've heard from a couple both former midfielders as well. This week we'll due to be chatting to Martin Taylor next week. We're looking forward to having him on, of course, after what he achieved during his time in goal at the club. More on that next week. But first we turn our attention to Wycombe Wanderers women, who on Sunday progressed to the semi-finals of the League Cup. They haven't got too many league games left coming up. In fact, on Sunday is their final home league game. We'll hear from Bobby Lynch in a few moments' time to tell us about her first 90 minutes for some time as well, and what that game on Sunday is dedicated to. But first, I'm very pleased to hear from Kine Andersen, who is also a midfielder and got her first goal a couple of weeks ago for the club as well. But first, how she got into football.
I've been playing since I was 6 years old, started in Norway at a team there, and then been playing in second division in Norway. Now I currently play in third division. So every time I go back home, I sign for my team. And then when off season is off here, I go back and play for them. Yeah.
So would you say the opportunities for girls and women's football in Norway is good compared to here, or is it much similar?
It's much similar, but it's starting to become more and more like people are having more interest, and I can really see that it's starting to grow. So that's nice.
And tell us about your position. Have you always played centre midfield?
Yeah, I've always played centre midfield as long as I can remember. I think I played some like left wing because I'm left-footed, but yeah, I really enjoy playing in centre midfield, like controlling the play, giving out passes and everything. Yeah.
It's something which takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does. Like every game, I think I at least run 12 kilometers every game. So it's a lot of running. But yeah.
So how did you come to be playing for Wycombe Wanderers women?
So I started playing for the university here at Brunel. And then Carl actually came and scouted me and asked if I wanted to come and play for his team at the time. So when he came to Wycombe, then he asked me if I wanted to come with him. So and I said yes, because Carl is a great coach.
And what were your first impressions of arriving at Wycombe?
It was nice, good facilities, like a really nice group of girls. Everyone is very welcoming in, and just great spirit. Like it seems very professional, and just great vibes.
And do you find as well there's a real feeling of togetherness in the squad because, everyone seems like really close and gets on very well?
Yeah, and I think it's starting to get better as well. Like we were a new team from this season, and I think we didn't have the best start, but now we're like getting to know each other better, and we know how we play, and so it's really starting to become really good. Yeah.
What would you say are the real strengths of the team?
I would say that everyone is very committed and very positive. Like we always go out, we never give up. So like in the league, we've been down a couple of goals a few times, but we still go out and we show that the game is not lost. We still have a chance, and we really put in the fight. And
you got your first goal a couple of weeks ago. That must have been a really good feeling as well.
Yeah. I've been waiting for that one. But Carl told me that week, you're going to score for me today. And then I got the free kick and it just went in. Yeah, so it was an amazing feeling to finally get the goal, yeah.
I hope you bought a lottery ticket that day as well.
No, unfortunately I didn't.
That must have been such a great feeling, though, to have the backing of the manager and, to score like that as well.
Yeah, and we really needed it. We played a good game against Eastleigh, but we had a lot of chances, but we just couldn't get it in. And so it was really nice to just do it myself and then just, get the win in 3 points. We really needed that.
And great to do well in the cup, of course, as well. As you say, it's been sort of difficult in the league, but things are starting to pick up now. What do you sort of hope to achieve in the remainder of the season?
Yeah, I hope we could get, now we have Winchester at home, so I hope we can get a win there and get 3 points and also get through to the semi-final. Yeah, that would be really nice. We haven't done so well at home lately, so it would be nice to give the supporters something to come and look at and really enjoy football and come and support. Yeah.
And overall, how have you found your time at the club so far?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time. It's starting to get better, and I really can see that next season is going to be really, really interesting. We're really becoming a team, and everyone around. It's a great atmosphere, and everyone is very nice. Yeah.
And does it fit in well with your studies and other things that you do as well?
Yeah, it's okay. Like, I don't feel like I have much time, like spare time. Everything I do is go to uni and then go play football, but that's what I like, so I don't mind doing that.
So what is it you're studying?
I'm studying physiotherapy. Yeah, so I'm on my second year, and so I have 1 year left. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Is that something you're looking to go into in a sort of sports way as well?
Yeah, that's my plan, because I've had a lot of operation. I've done my ACL a couple of times. I think it's 6 times, and then
Ouch.
That's kind of how I got into physio. So I find it really interesting, and yeah.
You're a good person to practice on.
Yeah, and I know my knees.
Oh, that's really serious. Really serious. You've done so well to sort of come back from those.
Yeah.
Great to chat to Kine. Talking of knee injuries, making her 90-minute return to the team on Sunday. In that game was Bobby Lynch, and as you can imagine, after such a long layoff, she was really pleased to play the whole game.
Yeah, it was brilliant to be back. I mean, every other interview I've done, I've been like, I'm injured. So it's nice to finally speak to you guys and not be injured.
No, absolutely. And what was it like? Because did it help in a way that you weren't expecting to play 90 minutes?
Yeah, definitely. And even at times throughout the game, I was not expecting to play 90 minutes. After a couple of long runs and being very out of breath, I looked over to the bench and was hoping that my name was next to be called, but it never came. So I had to see it out.
And do you think, like, sort of mentally as well as physically, do you think, I have to be a bit careful, or are you so sort of desperate to get playing again, you just sort of go for it and just think, I'm back now?
I think I'm fairly lucky, actually, in that respect, where once I'm sort of playing football, I can forget about it. But I know that's not the same for everyone. And, like the psychological side of it is actually sometimes the hardest part. And I know a couple of other players who have been in that situation where, for me, I think once I'm sort of back on the pitch, I just completely forget. And luckily, I don't have to worry too much throughout the game, so I can think about other things and focus on the game. But it definitely is a side of it which is probably not discussed enough, the psychological and sort of mental side of it. For sure.
And also, I'd seen that you posted it's been over 500 days since
yeah.
It's almost a biblical amount of time.
Yeah, so it's 518 days since the injury itself happened. So that's how long really the rehab has sort of been, which is a long time to be injured, but it was due to waiting times in between for appointments and stuff like that. I think when Nick Freeman did his, he was out for about a year, I think, on the dot almost. So I wasn't that far behind, I suppose. But no, it was due to the waiting time. But it also helped me put quite a lot of work into my rehab and come back really stronger than I probably would have if I didn't have those waiting times. So it does have its perks.
And has it been nice in a way that you've had a kind of still a part to play, especially with the coaching and the social media side and still being involved, really?
Yeah, it's been it's been everything at times because, I've been part of a team since I was, early teens. So to not be in a team at all was a really difficult side of it, but actually staying involved with the girls and being involved in the game still as much as possible sort of really helped me with the psychological and sort of mental side of the injury, I suppose, which is obviously a godsend when you put your whole life really into football. It was nice to still be involved in the football as much as I could be.
It must be so nice as well to be able to play a part now that you've seen kind of the changes at the club as well in recent times, and now kind of, actually get on the grass and play a part as well. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I've been watching, and, sometimes when the season's not been going as we wanted it to, it's been so frustrating, not being able to impact in the game itself on a personal level. So to now be involved in the actual game and help us get that 1-0 win in the quarterfinals of the cup was, just amazing. And people might not even realise that it's such a short season for you. So it's so nice to have this kind of last couple of games. It's your penultimate league game coming up, and as you say, doing so well, got a cup semi-final to look forward to. Yeah, so it is a really short season. I mean, it's crazy to think that Sunday is our last home league game of the season, and we're only at the end of February.
So it is a very short season. But I did say at the beginning of the season for the girls to get me to a couple of cup finals so I could cameo, and they've done it. So perfect. I've come in a bit early, but to be into the semi-final now is a perfect way to end the season, really.
And a final opportunity for fans to come and support you at Burnham in the league as well, and also a very special day and game as well.
So it is, it'd be lovely to get a good crowd down there, not only for ourselves, but for our partnership with the Football v Homophobia, which we've dedicated our game to as well. With the help of Winchester, who we're playing against, they are fully on board supporting the cause with us, which is really nice.
And really goes to show what a great part football can play in raising awareness of especially this issue. Yeah, definitely. I mean, within women's football, I suppose it's almost less of an issue than it is in men's football, but we want to spread that message that football is for everyone, whether it's within the men's game, within the women's game, because, since probably the summer and the success of the summer, the girls at any level are like the role models that they should be for the children growing up and for people in all sorts of communities to look up to and aspire to. So it's really nice for us to be able to support a cause that is so open for everyone and something we all really, really believe in. And as you say, really nice for youngsters to be able to sort of see what you're doing and, the rest of the team as well and get the impression that, it's such an inclusive club and so welcoming. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think if anyone's been down to Burnham, they'll see that it's, a really nice environment. There's always the girls on the sideline if they're not in the squad and everyone's supporting everyone and, all our three squads support each other when we can, when the fixtures allow. And it is a really nice environment and a really nice club to be part of, whether that's as a player, a fan. So, you can, seeing it and trying to and getting involved with it is really nice for everyone. And obviously all about educating people that, no matter what your sexual orientation, it makes no difference if you're playing football or even watching football. Yeah, and I think that's the sort of message we wanted to spread, that not only are we, saying this is v homophobia, it's, we just want to allow everybody to come down and be part of football who, regardless of anything, you can be whoever you want to be and be involved in football. And I think that's a really important message to spread. For us, it's not just about the homophobia, it's about just being an inclusive environment for everyone, which is something, we try to achieve, regardless of whether it's the awareness month or not. So, it is a very important message all through the season. It's just we've chosen this game to highlight it. And do you feel, I'm sure you're much too modest to say, but yourself and the rest of the team, a real kind of sense of pride in that, youngsters, especially young girls, are kind of looking up to you and the way that you're promoting this cause especially, but also, women's football? Yeah, I think it's it always feels a bit weird, doesn't it, when when you're not used to it, I suppose. We've had a couple of young Wycombe fans come down to the ground and the girls still get a bit shy when they have to sign an autograph or take a picture with someone, but they're learning to love it, and we take it all on board and we love it, and we would love to get more people down to support us and to see what we're all about and meet the girls and just learn a bit more about us. And have you noticed in your time at the club, in a real sort of evolution of the club also, but also the interest in the football of the women's section, if you like? Yeah, definitely. I mean, even like going down to the ground on a Saturday, the girls, we go together. Some of us go more than others, and we'll go and sit in the stadium. And people come up to us now, and they recognise us, or we see them at the game on the Saturday, and then I see them in the crowd on the Sunday. And it's lovely. Like, we see loads of the fans down at Burnham, and it's so nice to know that there are fans that are coming out and they support the club and the whole club, not just the men's side. So, what do you hope that supporters take away from the Football v Homophobia occasion, if you like? I think that, just like we've been saying, that football is an environment for everyone, and that's regardless of anything, any sexual orientation, background, gender, anything we can, and that is an environment where you can come down and you can be yourself and you'll be supported to do so. And I think that's a really important message to spread, that we'll do that every weekend, that you come down and support us. Bobby Lynch from Wycombe Wanderers Women speaking to us here at Wycombe Sound. Do back the Chairgirls at Burnham on Sunday. And if you're not going to rural Shrewsbury, you can catch the whole game live here on 106.6 FM and on WanderersTV.